All right, welcome back to another episode of Questionable Locks. I'm Ryan, joined again by Morris. We are going to be recapping week 6 as well as getting into the week 7 games.
So here we go. Thursday night football, Washington versus Chicago. We knew this was going to be a boring game, and it was a boring game. 12-7. Commanders went off with a field goal. I mean, pretty much what I thought was going to happen, I think. Fuck. Any opinions about that game?
Yeah, we knew it was either going to be Carson Wentz shows up and looks like the 2017 Carson Wentz, where he's going to be looking like an MVP, or we're going to get the Carson Wentz that we've gotten used to, where he's just going to disappoint everybody. And we got the second option.
Yeah.
But in this game, I also took a bet on Khalil Herbert first touchdown. It was like plus 1,500. And the only reason why I took it was because I'd seen on TikTok that this dude has a page where he tells the AI to paint what it thinks will happen for certain events or like for certain games, like who's going to score the first touchdown, who's going to win straight outright. And this time we had the first touchdown for the Thursday night game, where it showed number 24 in a Bears jersey, which is Khalil Herbert. So I decided that's exactly what I'm going to put my money on. Sure enough, Buddy busts out a huge fucking run, gets tackled down at like the 3-yard line. And I'm figuring, okay, they're about to pull him. They're going to give the ball to Montgomery. And then my bet is fucking cooked. Not the case. They stay with Herbert. They get down to the 1-yard line after Wentz rolled out, or no, not Wentz. Justin Fields rolled out, got absolutely leveled at the fucking 1-yard line. 4th and 1, they hand it back to Khalil Herbert. Dude gets stopped at the 1-yard line. No touchdown. No touchdown was even scored until the second half. And it wasn't Khalil Herbert. So that really fucking hurt to lose that bet by half of a yard. Because Khalil Herbert and the Bears line couldn't sack up for one more yard.
Yeah. Thing is, Justin Fields needs to learn how to throw in the NFL because he's not going to be able to keep winning with his legs. Hell of an athlete, I won't lie, but he's starting to look sus as a QB.
All right, then we got a Sunday morning game with the Ravens and the Giants.
This surprised me.
I don't know if I can call the Giants frauds anymore. I mean, it could just be that the Ravens are like still in my head, like they have to be good because they're the Ravens and they have Lamar Jackson, but they've blown game after game this year. Like I'm starting to just think that they suck.
Yeah, I feel that. The only thing I look at it as is like Lamar, he's trying to play smart football because he's trying to get that contract, like if he actually got paid by Baltimore, I feel like he would be putting a lot more on the line trying to win these games. But at the same time, he knows as long as he's playing at an MVP level, he doesn't have to ball out like he usually does. Because there was I watched the highlights of that game, and there was a couple of plays where I was like, that just doesn't look like Lamar. But I also understand where like I could see where he's trying to play smart football because he's trying to get that contract,
Yeah. I mean, he absolutely is trying to get the contract, but at the same time, I know you don't want to get injured, but you have to ball the fuck out to get that money.
The thing is, he's proven what he can do in the past season. So it's kind of like, he's playing a dangerous game. I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, if you really want to prove your worth,
you got to show that you're willing to put your team above and win when it comes down to it, because they've blown 4 games this year already.
Especially it's hard.
It's coming out hot in the first half. Like he'll play like Lamar in the first half. They'll go get their points. He'll get his yards. He'll get to running. But then the second half comes around, and where does he go?
Yeah, no, I definitely understand where that's coming from because you can't prove you're the top QB in the league without actually winning games. So it is what it is. Next up, we have Jaguars Colts.
The Colts shockingly took it. I mean, I'm not going to say shockingly, or no, it's a shock. It's a shock that the Colts won.
It is.
I thought that the Jaguars were gonna win again pretty easily because they did the first time, but I just gotta remember that the AFC South just sucks. But the Colts actually showed life on offense this week with putting up 30 points. That's the most that they've put up all year. I mean, again, granted, it is the Jaguars defense who sucks. And yes, they did still allow 27 to Jacksonville, but they put together a game offensively.
They did. The thing is, Matt Ryan's starting to look like Matt Ryan again. Not saying it's going to last throughout the whole season, but hey, man, he looked pretty good in that game.
Yeah, he also fucked me on a bet. I had him over half an interception because he's thrown through every week. He's thrown like 3, 2, 1. He had like 1 week with 0, and then he threw another 2 last week. And I was thinking, hammer it. He's gonna throw a pick. It's gotta happen. It's Matt Ryan. He throws picks all the time. No fucking pick.
Yeah. Pretty much that's all that's got to be said about that game. Next up we got Patriots Browns, and we were talking about this last week. We didn't know who to take, but at the same time we also said you can never doubt Bill Belichick. I mean, hey, I don't know if the Patriots are going to make a postseason run or not, but you can never count Bill Belichick out with his whatever he has on this team. You can't doubt him out.
Yeah, I mean, I was ready to just count them out, but Zappy is fucking charging up this Patriots offense. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson's came alive. He's also now looking like a dude. Ramondre Stevenson, a dude so far. I mean, he's been carrying me in fantasy football the past couple weeks too. So, I mean, if Zappy keeps playing as well as he has, and Ramondre Stevenson keeps it up, I don't see why the Patriots can't keep this rolling, especially with their defense playing as strong as it has been as of late.
It's kind of weird to say the Patriots kind of have a QB controversy brewing. And you don't want to think that because Mac Jones is a first-round pick, but at the same time, Belichick doesn't care who you are.
No, he wants the best result. He wants you to do your job well.
So I guess Mac Jones comes back maybe either this week or next week. I guess we're gonna see what happens because seems kind of like Mac might lose his job.
It's very
crazy.
possible.
All right, next game. I was wrong about this one, but
shit.
Bengals Saints 30-26.
I mean, it was closer than I thought it was gonna be. I mean, the Bengals did cover the spread. They were 2-point favorites. And you were saying if Taysom Hill could stay productive again, they'll have a great shot, but they seem to have completely gone away from Taysom Hill this game. He only got 5 carries for 39 yards, no touchdowns, and only threw the ball twice or he threw it 4 times, completed twice for only 16 yards.
Yeah. And it seems like you want to get kind of up on the Bengals, but at the same time, I still don't know about the Bengals. They might be able to make another postseason run, but I don't know how deep they're going to go in that run.
Well, I'm not saying that they're going to go back to the Super Bowl. Fucking the Chiefs and Bills are looking like basically the only options to come out of the AFC right now. The Bills
that is true.
are the only options in the AFC right now.
That is true, but you can never count Joe Shiesty out,
Yeah,
dude looked like an MVP that game.
This offense is explosive enough where they could keep up with just about anybody.
And you never know,
if the defense could hold.
Exactly, but Joe Shiest, if he gets that magic going, there's no stopping him. But yeah, I was wrong. Ryan was right on that game. And so next game up, Buccaneers Steelers. I was surprised about this game, but at the same time, I've been saying it all throughout the season so far. When you have Brady going through all that off the field stuff, it's hard to play football like that. And especially when you got him yelling at his O-line to play better, it's hard to win games like that. So
yeah, man left his wife and kids for them.
Yeah, so we might be seeing Tom Brady on his last season going out like a chump because it's kind of looking like this Buccaneer team might not even make the postseason. That's what I honestly think.
I mean, they are in a weak ass division. It's the NFC South. They'll probably still make the playoffs.
Yeah, but at the same
Think about
time,
who they got to play. They got to play New Orleans. They got to play Carolina. And why am I blanking on the last team?
it's let's see,
No.
it's
Yeah, pull it up. Standing right here. NFC
Falcons.
yeah.
So I mean,
So it's the weak
yeah,
ass
they
NFC South with who was it? The Falcons, the Saints, and the Panthers. Even though they've been playing like shit, they're still at the top of the division at 3-3.
yeah, but they're it's hard to say it because it's Brady behind the center, but I don't see them making Super Bowl in Brady's
I don't
last
fucking
season.
either. I mean, everybody was hyping up the Bucks going into the season. I just didn't see it. We got a 45-year-old man at quarterback who's not mobile. The line's not the same as it was last year. He lost a key lineman this offseason. And I mean, the defense is good. They're legit, but you can't expect them to hold it down every fucking game.
Yeah,
I mean, they still didn't do a bad job this game. They only allowed 20. They only allowed 20, but when your offense only scores 18, that's not good enough.
Yeah, Brady should have retired after his Super Bowl run because this year he's not going out on top. Is what it is. Next up, a game I feel like shocked everybody. 49ers Falcons.
Yeah, the 49ers were coming in as about 4-point favorite, 5-point favorites. I was saying last week that that the 49ers should dominate this because their defense has been elite, but I also mentioned that our injuries are going to catch up to us at some point, and it seems like this was the week.
Exactly. And also, like I've been saying too, the 49ers defense is legit, but at the same time, you get a guy who's behind center that can actually run with the ball, he's going to do damage to him. And like Marcus Mariota, not the best quarterback, but he is mobile. He scored a touchdown that game. It's kind of like, what are you going to do? Because the 49ers defense, yes, they are very good, but at the same time, every time they play someone with a mobile quarterback,
they get shit on.
And
they just couldn't stop the run to begin with. I mean, Algier and Huntley combined for how many yards? That's they combined for 100.
Yeah.
No, sorry, that's 110. They combined for 110, the two of them. And then Mariota ran for another 50 or 60 on top of that, another 50. So we gave up 160 yards running just between Algier, Huntley, and Mariota.
So, yeah, I mean, the 49ers are definitely going to make it. Not definitely, because you never know what's going to happen. But at the same time,
49ers happen on offense. They're going to freaking stall out.
Exactly. But I
don't know why they went away from Brandon Ayuk. The man had like 100 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half. Second half, he's nowhere to be seen.
That's the thing. You talk about all these 49ers weapons, but at the same time, it seems like with them, they only want to focus on like 1 or 2 a game.
Yeah, and then when that's not available, they want to run.
Exactly. And when we don't have the kind of backfield that they've had in the past couple of years, it's hard to do that because it's like Shanahan. He's always had 4 or 5 backs he could rotate through. This year, there's only 2, and one of them's hurt.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what are you going to do? So let's hope for the best for the future because that's me and Rye's team. We'll see what happens. But next up, we got Jets Packers, which I think is another game that stunned people because it seems kind of like
it shocked me. I mean, I was originally going to go with the Jets, but I felt like it was just going to be a bias off of Robert Saleh and Zach Wilson banging MILFs. But now it also goes back to the debate on how I was talking about earlier with the Giants on if they are really that good or if the Packers just suck that much this year.
Yeah.
Because the Packers haven't looked good.
No, they haven't. And if they want to do something in the playoffs, they got to figure out stuff right now. There is no more they'll figure out eventually. No, they need to figure stuff out right now because you can't
toss it to fucking Devontae Adams every game. Yeah, they're 3-3 right now. The Falcons, or not the Falcons, the Vikings are 5-1. So they're 2 games out of top of their division. But honestly, with the NFC, how it is, it's a few teams are going to be clear favorites, and then the rest are going to be wild card teams just getting in. I mean, the entire NFC West is basically 500. NFC North, besides the Lions, are all hanging around 500. NFC South, all about 500. And then the Eagles and Giants are 6-0, 5-1. But then the Cowboys are 4-2, and Commanders are 2-4. So everybody's just hanging around 500 for the most part, besides a couple teams.
Yeah. So I mean, the Packers probably will make playoffs, but again, they're another team that they're not going to make a deep run. They're either going to get knocked out in wild card or get knocked out in divisional. They're not going to make championship, and they're sure as hell not going to make Super Bowl unless they can figure stuff out right now. They need more wide receivers, especially because Randall Cobb got hurt.
Well,
That
they
was pretty much-
drafted 2 of them this past year. They got Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson, but it doesn't seem like Rodgers trusts either of them.
No, he doesn't. And especially with Randall Cobb going out, he needs some guys to come back, or else this is going to be a wasted season for the Packers. Which you never want, which is kind of weird to say, but is what it is. Packers need to figure stuff out like right now. Anyways, with that being said, next game, Vikings Dolphins. We were talking about it last week. The Dolphins
Kind of
without
what you
Tua,
expect.
yeah, without Tua, the Dolphins are pretenders. They're not contenders. Is what it is. Kirk Cousins.
I mean, they also played fucking Skylar Thompson to start the game. I've never even heard of the dude before. He came out, started the game, got hurt, and then they went back to Teddy B midway through the game. But yeah, the Kirk Cousins, it was 1 a.m. Eastern, or it was an afternoon Sunday game. That's where you get prime Kirk Cousins. It was never really in doubt. Dalvin Cook broke off a big run, but besides that, nothing much in that game.
The only thing that's kind of crazy to me is it kind of makes you think, like, is Tua actually kind of elite? Because without him,
Tua's
the
fucking
Dolphins,
good. It changes
Yeah,
up the whole scheme. Also, like, he disperses the ball better than other quarterbacks, because when he was in the lineup, both Waddle and Hill were eating. And then he goes out for a couple weeks, and now just Hill was eating, and Waddle was almost irrelevant until this past week.
So yeah, I guess we'll have to see what happens if Tua comes back. We'll have to see how the Dolphins do. Even though with everything that's happened with Tua, he probably should just think about hanging him up. And it sucks to say because he was such a good player, but the Dolphins kind of fucked him on that. Is what it is. Another is what it is game. That's all that can be said. The Dolphins are kind of being pretenders right now, unless they get an elite quarterback, is what it is. Next up, Panthers Rams. We pretty much expected that to happen. The Rams should have beat them. That's pretty much all that could be said about that game. Like,
yeah, I mean, McCaffrey was McCaffrey.
Yeah, he's probably gonna head out of Carolina. Like, Robbie Anderson's out of Carolina. It seems like they might.
Robbie Anderson just got traded to Arizona because Marquise Brown's probably going to be out for the rest of the year with a foot injury, which leads us into our next game, Cardinals versus Seahawks. And I'll just say, good thing that they just got Robbie Anderson and that DeAndre Hopkins is coming back, because that offense needs some help.
Yeah. Like, I thought the Cardinals were a good team, but obviously they're not. Without their star players, they're not good, which is not how you want to build a team, Like, you need backup players to support your starting cast. If you don't have that, you're not going to be a good team. And the Cardinals are proving that right now, because think about last season. They were undefeated all the way up until DeAndre Hopkins got hurt. And this year, with DeAndre out for the first 6 games, they haven't looked good.
Roids.
Yeah. Either way, I was wrong about that game. You had good points about that game. I was wrong. Cardinals, if they have all their starting players, they're going to look like one of the best teams in the NFL, but can't run a team like that.
As soon as anybody drops, though, they look terrible.
And that's not how you can run a team. You're not going to be successful in the NFL like that. Next up, the most anticipated game probably of the year, Bills Chiefs. I was wrong about this one too. I thought Patty Mahomes was going to pull it out, but
I told you,
that defense,
Bills Mafia.
because when they added Von Miller, I didn't realize how much of a cornerstone piece he could be because he forced Patrick Mahomes to throw a pass you wouldn't see out of Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah, no, Von Miller gets back there. He's still elite. He was a big part in the Rams run last year. And to join the Buffalo defense, who was already a great defense.
Now they're an elite defense. They went from being a great defense to an elite defense with just one guy.
Yeah.
But you could also see, if the Bills do end up winning the Super Bowl, I feel like Von's going to retire after this year. So the Bills got to figure out that in the offseason.
Oh, no, he could just keep hopping around team to team, ring hopping.
That is true. He'd be the first player to win. If the Bills do win the Super Bowl this year, he'd be the first player to win 3 rings with 3 different teams. So I guess we'll have to see what happens there.
And there's still the chance that OBJ goes to Buffalo.
And if he does,
that would be terrifying. Think about that. Stephon Diggs, who's already a freak. Dude had like 14 receptions, over 100 yards, and a touchdown this weekend. Then it would be Odell Beckham, who doesn't even need anything said. It's just Odell Beckham. And then Gabriel Davis is your third option.
Yeah.
That's pretty much. That's even harder to guard than what the Rams had last year with Cooper Kupp and OBJ.
So yeah, it was a close game. Bills only winning by 4 points, but at the same time,
I mean, 4 points. I don't know. Win against the Chiefs.
It is a tough win against the Chiefs, but at the same time, if the Bills are winning like that and they're able to make Patrick Mahomes make mistakes like that, man, I think they're still the Super Bowl favorites. That being said, we're on to the next game, Cowboys-Eagles. I mean, me and you pretty much said the Eagles were going to win.
Yeah.
It makes you think, with the strength of the Eagles season, because it's not a very strong schedule they have coming up, maybe they're a team that goes undefeated. But the NFL,
I don't think that they can go undefeated. They'll probably get a trap game around, or they'll probably be upset in like week 11 or something like
weird.
Week 8, or not week 8, like week 9. Yeah. Because they can absolutely go 8-0 to start the year. There is a chance that they can go undefeated, but the NFC East usually devours each other in some sort of way.
Yeah. And we were, it sucks to say because I feel like me and you both don't want to say it against our 49ers, but the Eagles are probably the NFC.
Oh, no, I don't want to see the Eagles. I don't want to see them.
I know, but they have very few weak spots on their team, if any. So it's kind of hard to see them not making it to the Super Bowl. I hate to say it, but they're showing themselves as contenders. It's weird to say, but they are, especially if they go on that run like they did the year they won the Super Bowl.
Who have they played? It's still who they played.
Who have they played and who are they gonna play? They have a very easy schedule this year.
Yeah, that's why we're not going to really be able to. And we'll be able to read this team based on how badly they kick the shit out of teams that they're supposed to kick the shit out of. But until we see a truly close game, we don't know what this team's made of.
That is true. So I guess we're on an impasse with that team because I feel like, I know you don't feel very strong about them. I hate to say it, but I feel strong about them. Either way, we're going to see what happens. It's still a long season. We're barely about to be on week 7. So it's still a long season, 10 more games. We're going to see what happens. That being said, next game up, Broncos Chargers.
Slow game. Russell Wilson looked like he was going to cook in the first half, but then he just ended up being Russell again the second half. The Broncos defense was still strong, and this whole game came down to a fucking mistake on special teams.
Yeah. But the thing that surprised me is me and you both said this game might be a blowout on the Chargers, and they didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Is what it is. I mean,
Like I
Chargers
said, it
won.
was either going to be high scoring if Russ is cooking, or it's going to be a slow game because the defenses are good and the Broncos offense just can't move the ball.
So yeah, I mean the Chargers, they're definitely not contenders. They're a very good team, but they need a couple more pieces, but they're probably gonna build something. Do you want to change the Zoom call over real quick? We're at
In
9 minutes.
in a second. But yeah, this whole game basically came down to the muffed punt because the dude waved for it to be a fair catch, and then I don't even know who it was on the Chargers seen one of his blockers way too close to him and just decided to shove him into the punt returner because he didn't make contact with the punt returner. He made his teammate hit him, which made him muff the ball, which eventually led to their game winning field goal where Dustin Hopkins on one leg, the one-legged kicker, fucking hits it to win it. Well, that'll do for the recap. We're gonna get right into the
Week 7
games
previews.
with our favorite previews. Yeah.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we're all good.
Before we get into this week's games, breaking news. DeSean Jackson is back. He just signed
He is back.
I mean,
What's crazy?
It came out a couple hours ago, but this is the first time that I had seen it.
What's crazy is he was on podcast earlier this week and he was talking about some of the teams he was going to come back with. And the Raiders, right?
The Ravens.
The Ravens, sorry. The Ravens. That was one of the teams he was talking about. It was the Raiders, Ravens, and I forget what the other team was, but that was one of the teams he was talking about.
Probably like Green Bay.
Something like that. Yeah. So yeah, DeSean Jackson's back. I don't know how effective he's gonna be, but he's back, baby.
I mean, he adds veteran experience to a young wide receiving crew, which could help in the long run for sure.
Plus, especially with DeSean Jackson, he's always a guy who can blow the top off a defense, especially if they're not ready for it.
I mean, I'm not gonna. Does he still have that breakaway speed though? I mean, he could slip past and get by, but are you telling me that he could still just burn past somebody like that?
Not like when he was a young fella, but
no, of course not.
He's definitely gonna make some plays. I think he's definitely gonna make some plays for that team, and I think Lamar's gonna be looking for him.
All right, but getting right into the Thursday night game, we have the Saints and the Cardinals. Another stinker. I mean, I'm starting to think that they're giving the Thursday night game all the shitty games just a fuck you to Amazon. They're like, you know what? Yeah, you want to put this only on your streaming service? We're going to give you the worst games. How about mid-season? Everybody's in full go for football. Basketball just started up. Might want to like compete for some viewership. Let's give them the Saints and the Cardinals. Everybody wants to see Taysom Hill.
The thing with that, though, is I've said it before, is if you were looking at all these Thursday night games preseason, they were looking like they were going to be good games.
Okay, this is not one that I would be looking forward to from preseason. Are you telling me that you really thought the Saints were going to be making noise this year? I mean, the Cardinals, I could understand. But I would think that this game would be a blowout.
Are you doubting famous Jameis?
Yes.
Okay.
Without a question, yes, I am doubting Jameis Winston.
Yeah, well, with D-Hop back, we'll see how the Cardinals do. I'm going to take the Cardinals just because they have D-Hop back, and I feel like with D-Hop back, they're going to do some shit, but who knows? It's a 50-50 game. Thursday night. What do you think?
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins being back is going to be huge, not just for the Cardinals, but also for my fantasy football team. I'm one of the guys that has taken DeAndre Hopkins and has just been riding it out, struggling the first few weeks, just waiting for DeAndre Hopkins to be back. And it's finally here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
I think I'm definitely gonna be riding with the Cardinals. Their defense has shown life on and off. Like they're inconsistent, but they got Patrick Queen, JJ Watt, Buda Baker. They've got the pieces to be successful.
yeah.
And also
So
Vegas has them as 2-point favorites. If anything, in this game, I would probably take. I'm not going to trust either defense. I'll probably take the over. It's only 44.5 points this week. I can
yeah.
easily see that. I mean, oh no, actually, I don't know if I like that so much because I was just talking about how like under I could see this game going.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what it could be a toss up in the air. The Cardinals with D Hop back, they should win this, but who knows? I'm gonna take the Cardinals. You're taking the Cardinals. We'll see what
But
happens. Next
no,
up.
give me the Saints. Give me the Saints.
Oh shit. You're gonna take
The receivers are going to be active. I mean, last week they didn't have Chris Olave or anything. Michael Thomas did he even play?
I
I,
don't know.
either way, besides the point. I feel like
Yeah.
this is gonna be the Thursday night game where the ball actually gets moved around. I'm gonna
Yeah.
take the Saints and over 45 points.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals. So I guess it's a toss up. So we'll see what happens. Next up, we got the Browns versus the Ravens. I want to take the Ravens, but with how they've been playing, I
No,
don't know.
you're taking the Ravens. Don't think about it. You are taking the Ravens.
All right.
It's
Guess we're
the
taking
Browns. It's Jacoby. You're basically going Jacoby Brissett versus Lamar Jackson at this point.
that is true. All right. That's an easy game, I guess.
I mean, like
Ravens.
that game's gonna be ran, like the clock is going to be melted off that game. It's gonna be such a quick game because Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, Cleveland loves to just pound the ball with them nonstop. And then Lamar and the Ravens, they run the ball or they just give it to Mark Andrews over the middle of the field and let him make shit happen.
That's true. All right. So we got the Ravens in that game. Next up, Buccaneers Panthers. Another easy one. You got to take the Buccaneers in this one.
Yeah, you do.
Not much else to be
Do
said.
I want to? Not really.
Not really, but
Am I going
shit.
to? Because it absolutely makes sense and there's no reason why they should lose. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So next up, Falcons Bengals.
Give me the Bengals.
Yeah, same. I mean, it's a
I mean, it all depends on if the Falcons could melt the clock and keep the ball out of the Bengals' hands. Because
exactly.
if the Bengals could have the ball, I feel like the Falcons defense isn't exactly strong enough to slow them down. So, I mean, I was wrong last week when I thought Mixon was going to be running the ball a lot, but this could be one where Mixon does run it a lot because if the Falcons are controlling the time of possession and the Bengals are trying to give their defense a little rest, they're probably going to want to run it more to give their defense more of a breather and kill more clock.
Yeah, especially because the Bengals have their full team back. We're taking the Bengals. It's going to be a snooze fest. Don't get me wrong. It's probably going to be a snooze fest, but give me the Bengals.
All right, next game. And I'm going to keep saying it until it happens. I'm going with the Lions. It's the Lions versus the Cowboys. I just don't believe the Cowboys can do it. I mean, they've looked competitive in some games. They've won a couple games. The Lions are 1-4. I have absolutely no reason to go for the Lions. But just it makes so little sense that it makes perfect sense on why the Lions should win this game. I mean, as long as they could keep Micah Parsons like in relatively in check, the Lions offense should be able to move the ball enough where they could outduel Cooper Rush.
Yeah. I thought Dak was back this week.
Is he? Even
I think so.
Dak has I don't know. I don't think it matters who's at quarterback right now, whether it's Dak or Cooper.
Give me MCDC. Lions all the way, baby. Giants, Jaguars. Next up. Give me the Giants.
This one should absolutely be the Giants. But I see a big Trevor Lawrence game coming.
Yeah.
This is absolutely a game that the Giants should win. I want to see what the spread is because that'll definitely determine something. Yeah. Wait. The Jaguars are 3-point favorites in this one. I mean, they're at home. So like Fox or Vegas considers this to be an even game, but the Jaguars get the 3 points because they're at home.
Fuck that. Give me Daboll's.
No, I don't. Fuck, I don't know, dude. Doug Peterson's really got something going down there in Jacksonville. I mean, they just lost to the Colts, but this is a typical trap game. 5-1. The Ravens or the Giants have just beat the Ravens, the Titans, and the Packers in the past 3 weeks. This is prime trap game material.
It is, but give me Daboll's. Giants, baby.
All right.
Next up. Or who are you taking? You gotta make a pick.
I'm taking the Jaguars.
All right.
I've been saying it. I'm rocking with the Jaguars.
All right, we'll see what happens. Next up. Packers, Commanders. I'm gonna take the Packers, but if they keep playing like the way they've been playing, who knows what's gonna happen? But I'm taking the Packers. They're just a much better team.
This is a game where I definitely like points more than anything.
Yeah.
I think if it's high scoring, the Commanders actually take this one. But if
it's not
low scoring, it's the Packers.
Thing is, the Commanders aren't going to score points. That's the problem. They have a very good defense, but
they do not have a very good defense. They have an okay defense. They had a good week because they played a crappy Bears team.
All right. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm taking the Packers, but
yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with the Packers too, but
we'll see what happens.
But that's only because I expect this game to stay relatively low scoring. If it gets high scoring, give me the Commanders. All right, then we go to Tennessee for an AFC West show or an AFC South showdown between the Colts and the Titans. And this is another one of the games where I feel like I turn this on every year. I hope that it's exciting. I hope that it's good, but it's usually like a freaking like 23 to like 13 ball game by the end of it.
If Matt Ryan can play like he did last week, give me the Colts, but who knows what's going to happen. I'm going to ride with the Colts on this one, but who knows? It just depends.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a snooze fest.
Just not one that I'm looking forward to. The only reason why you would ever watch that game is if you have Derrick Henry on your fantasy team or Michael Pittman.
What's Vegas say about it?
Vegas. What the fuck does Vegas have to say?
Yeah, that's honestly.
Vegas says that they know too much. It says Titans are 2.5 point favorites, which seems about right.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm still gonna ride with the Colts on this one. I don't know. I just have a good feeling about the Colts.
I'll go with Derrick Henry.
All right.
This will be a game where Derrick Henry probably runs for like 135 with like 2 touchdowns.
Fair enough. Next up, another snooze fest. Texans, Raiders.
Well, I don't know. This one doesn't have to be a snooze fest. If Davis Mills just plays okay and the Raiders actually give the ball to somebody other than Devontae Adams and Mac Hollins, because I don't know why they try to target Hollins so much when you have Renfrow and Waller just chilling out there. I mean, I know Renfrow's had the concussion for a couple weeks and then Waller got hurt last week. But just throughout the season, I don't know why they haven't been looking to those two more at all.
Thing is, the thing with that though is Renfro's been looking kind of goofy in these past couple weeks. Like I don't know, he's just been looking kind of goofy. If you've seen the footage, he's been looking goofy. I'm gonna I don't even know who to take in this game. I guess,
I'm taking the Raiders.
yeah, I guess Raiders. I'm gonna go with the Raiders too, just because they're like a better overall team. But honestly, I don't know. Next up, I guess that's all that's gonna be said about that game. Next up,
Yeah.
Jets Broncos. Give me the Jets.
Yeah.
They're
Robert
looking like
Saleh's got those boys buzzing. Zach Wilson's playing like a quarterback of competency. Brees Hall is awesome. Michael Carter does a job. And that defense is sick. But this is probably going to be another super low scoring game because the defense for the Jets is good. The defense for the Broncos is good. And the Broncos offense just isn't that good, but the Broncos off defense has been holding teams to not many points.
and like Russell Wilson hasn't been looking like past Russell Wilson. Give me the Jets all the way. Well, it's not even a game. Let's see what happens. The Jets should win this unless some stupid shit happen. Is what it is. A game I'm not looking. Next up is a game I'm not looking forward to. Chiefs versus 49ers.
In Santa Clara, too.
Yeah, first game I don't want to do it because I love the 49ers, but
No, we're probably gonna get railed.
yeah,
Don't sugarcoat it.
Chiefs.
Don't sugarcoat it. We're missing like our entire defense besides Ibukam, Warner, and Travarius Ward.
No, he's out this week.
Oh, wait, sorry. Hufanga then.
Yeah, Hufanga. Yeah, no.
So
We're down bad.
Like the Chiefs offense looked like, I mean, they weren't awesome last week, but you'd seen their ability to move the ball around. And just for how thin we are defensively, there's no way that we're going to be able to stop them for 4 quarters. And our offense is just so stale and predictable that there's no way that we could keep up with them.
Yeah. Chiefs. I hate to go against the 49ers, but Chiefs.
If anything, yeah, I mean, I've got to go with the Chiefs, but what's the over on this game? What are the points looking like?
Probably Chiefs 7 or 6.
No, Chiefs are only 3-point favorites.
Really?
And the over-under is 48.5. I mean, I don't know why the line is so close. I mean, Vegas obviously knows a lot more than we do. So if they say that the game's only at 3, it's probably going to be closer to 3. But I think but the only way that happens if the 49ers offense keeps up, and to do so, we would need to score points, which would easily put us over 48.5 for a game total.
Yeah, it's either going to be, honestly, the way I look at it is either Chiefs blowout or it's going to be a close game where it's another heartbreaker by the 49ers, because that's all they seem to be doing this year is heartbreakers or they win.
Yeah.
Pretty much all that's got to be said. So next up, we got Chargers Seahawks.
This is actually a game that I'm excited for. I can see this one being very high-paced, high-scoring, big plays, a lot of offense. The defense will get sacks, big breakups, but I could just see this one being a very good game because both those teams have pieces that make them fun to watch, but just haven't been able to put it all together to pull out wins against multiple other teams.
Yeah.
And we have Geno Smith versus Herbert, and both those quarterbacks could air it out.
I'm going to take my one of the season. I'm going to take my one bailout. I don't know who I'm going to take in this game. I'm just going to take a bailout. It's up in the air. I think it's 50-50.
I'm taking the Chargers.
I'm going to take a bailout.
All right.
I don't know who I want to take. Next up.
God, do we have to watch this game?
Yeah.
The Steelers and the Dolphins.
If Tua comes back give me the
Doubtful.
Dolphin. Doubtful. So I'm gonna take the
So we're
Steelers in
probably
this
going to be
one,
watching a Teddy Bridgewater versus Mitch Trubisky game.
which is like, who wants to watch that? I'm gonna take the Steelers, but again, another game where like,
I think
who
I'm going
knows?
with the Dolphins because the Steelers haven't been good this year either. The Steelers really haven't been good. Their offensive line isn't good. They don't have a quarterback that could exactly move around the ball. I mean, Kenny Pickett showed signs, but he just got hit with a concussion last week. So I don't know if they're going to let him play this week. But if he does, makes it more interesting. But if Teddy Bridgewater utilizes both of his receivers, meaning Tyreek Hill and Waddle, this offense should hum absolutely fine.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Steelers. Just fuck it, just cause I don't know. Whatever. Next game up, another snooze fest. Bears, Patriots. Give me the Patriots.
Gonna be a lot of runs in this game, but yeah, it's got to be the Patriots. Bill Belichick, no way that he gets out coached by. I don't even remember the fucking dude's name. The Bears' new coach.
It's let's look it up real quick.
Yeah, it's not Matt Nagy.
Matt Eberflus.
Eberflus. Okay. Yeah, you guys got a dumb name. Give me Belichick.
Give me Belichick. Yeah. Kind of a boring week in football, but
I don't know. I'm kind of excited for this week a little bit more.
there's a couple of good games mixed
Like
in there.
they don't seem like the most exciting, but they at least seem like they're all going to be close, which makes it a good game.
Yeah. With that being said, there's no more games. So Rye, you want to close this out?
Yeah, that'll do it for another episode here of Questionable Locks. Make sure you guys come back next week or make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be back next week to give you another recap and more predictions moving forward. All right, until next time, later.